Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my thing is there's other people that people are going to believe various sides of the story. Obviously, anybody that is familiar with my work, you know that I never believed that Pac died. I will never believe that. And it's not just about a belief. There's certain confirmations you can get, and you can just look at the thing, look at the pieces, and you draw your own conclusions. And if unfortunately, if that is true, let's say that Pac is still out there with us, and I'm not afraid to talk about these issues. I'm not, ashamed to talk about these. Let's say he's out there, and regardless of what happened, regardless if he's there or not, sometimes certain events can put a burden on other folks, and so, there's a lot of unanswered questions out there. There's a lot of people who still have questions, and obviously, you get situations where people are trying to move on with their lives and people constantly asking questions. It's a burden to them. Regardless of what the outcome was, it can be a burden. So a lot of times I shy away from putting people on the spot like that because we never know, what kind of lives they live in. So.
Yeah, I mean, I respect what you're saying and everything, but, he's definitely not here, man.
No, who's speaking now?
Hollywood.
That was Hollywood? Did you know Pac personally?
No, but I know who was working with him, as business partners and, witnessed the whole 7-day hospital stay.
Right. You knew people that was there or whatever, or around that. Yeah. That may be true in some people's minds.
I mean, I respect what you're saying, dog. I mean, believe me, I would love to have him here just like everybody else. But, I just have no clearance from what I know and, how some of these important people that he wouldn't have just left behind like God left behind are, So, I respect it, though. I'm not, saying negative towards it or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't share that. I'm not the only one that shares those thoughts. But again,
the whole world has their own opinion.
It's another thing, too, also, it's good to explore that idea, regardless of what the facts are, and regardless of whatever someone else's conclusions are. It's good to explore that, like I've told other people, because it gives hope. If it is that possibility that Pac did go away, it still gives the youth hope because at the end of the day, me personally, it ain't just me, several other people look at it this way too. I mean, hundreds of people, probably thousands, okay, to say that Pac died, got shot up, okay, that goes against everything that he represented. To go out in a hail of bullets, okay, to be involved in a scuffle shortly before that, and then go out in a hail of bullets. I
mean, the scuffle situation, you can tell that was plotted. And, Orlando didn't even have tickets to the fight. And he's standing at the end of the hallway, which Pac is coming out of this backstage room from being back there waiting for Tyson. I'm sorry, the whole footage of that episode, you could tell that was plotted. And then the fact that the police held Orlando Anderson for a couple hours after the situation, there's no way he's just going to magically jump in the car and find them on their route to 662.
So your conclusion is you saying that was set up?
I believe fully it was, yeah.
It had to be. It had to be. I mean, a lot of people see it that way as well. I mean, hundreds of thousands.
I'll tell you this. There's footage of Pac backstage in this backstage area waiting for Tyson to come back, and he's on camera in a hell of an excited mood, and Suge grabs him from the back on his shoulder and pulls him come on, let's get out of here, which was so out of the rare because Pac always would wait for Tyson to come out after the fight, they would celebrate, especially that night. He knocked Selden out 50 punches. And the fact that Suge grabbed him to get him out of that backstage area where Orlando's waiting at the end of the hall outside that door tells me, hello, you know what I mean?
Well, I know myself, one way or another, no matter what particular theory people believe in, whether they think it was some type of Suge Knight setup, or if he faked his death, or maybe the people in New York in the '94 shooting, it seems pretty obvious that Orlando Anderson seemed like a plant in that situation to most people. So,
absolutely. It just didn't look right. And then, that's not even getting into the other evidence as far as possibly Pac being out there. But again, one way or another, to give that other alternative side of the story gives fans and people who observe the story hope that, hey, you can get out of your situation. It brings more life to talk about that he possibly survived. That brings more life to the scenario. And then, because you got to understand, I had a nephew he got gunned down. Okay, it was a stray bullet hit the car. He got gunned down. I'll never forget the funeral. At the funeral, they kind of were like playing it up as if like it was cool that he died, that he got shot. Okay, a lot of young kids after Pac died like that, or supposedly died like that, allegedly died like that, they started seeing it as being cool. When he got shot up the first time in '94, 5 times, that's kind of how he seen it. My nephew, he was like, oh, I've been hit. He bled to death. He could have survived, but he thought he was going to survive it, go back the next week like Lil Wayne did and survive this gunshot and pull up his shirt and say, look, I've been shot. Kind of like a badge of I've earned my stripes. It gives that story I disagree with completely. It gives no hope to these kids. It gives no hope to our youth. It puts them in a different state of mind that getting shot or going out like a G is cool. It's not cool. Okay, these mothers are crying their eyes out because of this type of stuff. So that's why I do not glorify Pac dying in Las Vegas. That's why I was always tell the youth and whoever was paying attention, it's possibly that man was smart enough to get out of that situation and he left. He had enough people plotting against him, and Pac was very, very intelligent. And if he did survive, it makes him look more like a genius than if he died. It makes him look. It deifies him even more because he was smart enough to say, "Look, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to tell you the plan, and I'm going to get out." I'm sorry. When Pac kept saying the plan, referring to the plan, naming himself Machiavelli and stuff like that, I'm sorry. I'm an artist myself, and everything I do, I've changed my name several times. Yeah. But everything that I do, every tattoo, every poem that I write, every word I write, everything that I do in my life has some type of significant meaning. And when I studied Pac, I felt he was the same kind of man. He had that necklace on, Euphoria, and that meant, this pain, going through this pain. Everything the man did, I felt had some type of significant meaning. Now, some people can say it was just completely impossible. I don't believe it's impossible because I've seen other people do it. I've studied several stories where men have faked their death right here in this country. The one I talk about, the guy in the book who was caught, he faked his death in Vegas, and then they caught him in Sacramento 7 days later, withdrawing money out of the ATM. Right. Do it every day.
Well, yeah, definitely. Sound like you've done a lot of research, and that's what it is. I mean, definitely, there's facts that a lot of people overlook, and definitely, I'm just giving my real opinion. I'm not running and hiding, and I fully believe Suge Knight's hand was involved, and I'm not gonna act like I don't believe that shit. So,
right. I respect that. I just don't. Me personally, I don't. When the kids, not just the kids, people. It ain't just kids. There's people our age and older. I'm 37. There's people our age and older who are Pac fans, and they just really studied. I had older suburban white couples buying my book at different places, so there was a lot of people who studied this story. So it's not even really age restricted. But when you talk about that he possibly did something else other than get gunned down and died, it brings immediate hope to people. It brings excitement. And it's not about just selling a story. When they look at it, like, man, yeah, that could have happened, or he could have failed, but it'd been nice to know that he did survive, and that's the beauty of that.
Well, look, I'm a little strapped on time. I gotta go get some food with my girl, and I just want to give my real opinion and definitely partake. Any of y'all ever come in Philly, make sure you hit my man up and let me know. I'll take care of you. And real talk, I'm just putting my opinion out there, and I ain't running and hiding.
Well, we appreciate you, absolutely.
No doubt. Y'all have a good night, all right?
Hey, Hollywood. Hollywood was wanted to introduce myself to you too. I'm Sean Sparks. I kind of been riding with Kush on this thing too. Me and you never formally met, so I just wanted to say peace. And
yeah, definitely. I heard a lot of good things about you, and definitely. We'll probably be talking sooner, being Asher's told me a lot of good things.
All right, yeah, no doubt, man.
For sure.
No doubt. All right, y'all have a good night, all right?
You too.
All right, peace.
Well.
Good.
Hey, Sean,
So me, Young Kush, and Dre left. What's going on, Dre?
Hey, not too much. Hey, Sean, it was nice to get to formally meet you voice to voice. We met over the internet, so cool to meet you over the phone, man, over the horn. So
absolutely. It's great to talk to you at last, Dre. I mean, we shared some messages and some good talk already, so it's definitely nice to talk to you in person. Hopefully, we'll be building on some stuff in the future too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff that you sent over, man, I really dug into and thought over. And that's the type of stuff. That's the flow that we were exchanging back and forth is the flow that would be good for Volume 2, because I don't want to stay stuck on an issue. I don't want to beat a dead horse over the head, and that's why we decided Volume 2 was going to be surrounding more of the political side of Pac's life and the religious side of Pac's life, and some of this other stuff relating to maybe the current campaign with Obama being president, so things of that nature. So some of the stuff that we went back and forth on, I think would definitely be an area that we could focus on Volume 2. And
absolutely. I'm very really looking forward to continuing with our dialogue and see where it takes us. But much respect for your work, though, Trey. I got a lot of respect for that.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
This is Junior, yo.
Julius, what's happening?
What's good, man? I know I'm super late.
Yeah, it's all good, though.
You missed the fireworks, Juniors, man.
I can't hear you.
I said you missed the fireworks, man. Ask Kush who was on to spark the conversation.